A man walks out of a bar at 3 in the morning, gets in a car, and drives to an airport. He has no permission, no flight plan, no lights, and no radio. He has a stolen plane, a dare, and 15 minutes to prove everyone wrong. This actually happened. In 1956, a World War II veteran named Thomas Fitzpatrick did what seems totally unthinkable. He flew a single-engine plane through the urban canyons of New York City and landed it perfectly on an uptown Manhattan street, all because of a drunken bet. To understand the audacity, you have to understand who Fitzpatrick was. He lied about his age and joined the Marine Corps at 15, learned to fly reconnaissance planes, served in Korea, was wounded, and received a Purple Heart. By 26, he was enrolled at the Teterboro School of Aeronautics and working as an airplane mechanic. This was not a reckless amateur. This was a man who knew exactly what aircraft could do. Now picture the scene. September 30th, 1956. Fitzpatrick is drinking at a Washington Heights bar after a bachelor party. Someone says he couldn't make it from New Jersey to Manhattan in 15 minutes. Nobody at that bar knew he intended to use an aircraft. Fitzpatrick quietly sets down his glass and walks out the door. He steals a single-engine plane from Teterboro Airport at approximately 3 in the morning and flies without lights or radio before landing on St. Nicholas Avenue near 191st Street, in front of the very bar where the bet was made. No runway, no tower clearance, just a stolen Cessna threading between apartment buildings like a needle through fabric. The bar patrons heard an aircraft directly overhead. Everybody ran outside and watched a red and white Cessna navigate between skyscrapers. He touched down on a city street, parked cars on both sides, lampposts inches away. The New York Times called it a feat of aeronautics and a fine landing. A police aviation sergeant estimated the odds of executing that landing at 100,000 to 1. So here's the question this story forces on you. If someone bet you that you couldn't do the most dangerous thing you've ever trained for, would you walk out of the bar and actually do it? Comment your answer below, because here's where the story gets even wilder. The plane's owner was so impressed he refused to press charges. For his illegal flight, Fitzpatrick was fined just $100. $100 for stealing a plane and landing it on a New York City street in the dark, drunk. The judge handed him a parking ticket and sent him home. That leniency is precisely what set up the second act. 2 years later, Fitzpatrick is back at a bar telling his story. A patron says he doesn't believe the first flight ever happened, so Fitzpatrick does the only logical thing. On October 4th, 1958, just before 1 in the morning, Fitzpatrick, again intoxicated, steals another plane from the same airfield and lands on Amsterdam Avenue and 187th Street in front of a Yeshiva University building. Same trick, different street, same impossible precision. One eyewitness told the New York Times, "I thought maybe they had trucked it in as a practical joke because there was no way a man had landed in that narrow street." This time, the law was not amused. Fitzpatrick was charged with grand larceny, dangerous and reckless operation of a plane, unauthorized landing in city limits, and flying without a valid license. Judge John A. Mullen sentenced him to 6 months in prison, stating, "Had you been properly jolted then, it's possible this would not have occurred a second time." Fitzpatrick replied that it's the lousy drink that caused him to attempt the stunt. 6 months in a cell, the price of proving a point twice. Fitzpatrick never broke the law again and lived to 79. He even earned a cocktail named after him, the Late Night Flight. Here's what makes this story genuinely extraordinary. It was not recklessness born of ignorance. Fitzpatrick knew exactly how thin the margins were. He knew the buildings, the streets, the aircraft. He calculated the risk and flew anyway, not for fame, not for money, but because someone said he couldn't. That is a particular kind of human madness that is equal parts terrifying and magnificent. The next time someone doubts you, maybe just show them this story, and maybe, just maybe, resist the urge to steal a plane about it. If you want more stories about the wildest true events history quietly buried, subscribe and stay right here, because we're just getting started.